everybody. Welcome. We here. We in this building, y'all. Welcome to StepFans and Chill. Still, the morning show with the late night feel. Mikey Winfield. I could go on forever, man. Big fish. Pisces season. Let's get it. Welcome to the show, everybody. I hope you're in your zone. I hope you're feeling the way you want to feel. Because you know how we all wake up in some type of energy. You all wake up in some type of mode. You know, this morning, I woke up with a neck cramp, you know? I didn't even know I had it when I woke up. It wasn't until I'm in the shower and I'm like, oh, I got a neck cramp. And there's no way I got the neck cramp from waking up to when I got in the shower. That means it happened overnight. I remember years ago, it was a time when my father, he started telling me when he started to get random aches and pains. And he was like, I don't even know why is this happening? And now I'm there with random aches and pains. And it's just something to accept, man. It's just part of your life when you got them. Just accept it. Just open up that door and know that however well you consume, how much water you drink, that don't mean you won't wake up and the back of your knee is hurting. It's just what it is. Accept it. You're human, and these physical flesh things we walk or with around us, they can break down from time to time, man. And I never know where I'm gonna start when I open up with you guys, but I'm gonna just let the spirit move me. You know what I mean? You know what I want to say to everybody? Who told you how to eat healthy? That's what I want to know. Because everybody be coming at me like, yeah, I don't eat red meat, but I eat chicken and seafood. Like, what makes you healthier for just not eating red meat? If you still eating another animal, like, okay, so the cow is worse than the chicken or the shrimp and the crab. Like, who told you this? Where are you getting this information? And I will tell you right now, if your information is coming from your family, the ones who got misinformation from their own parents, look it up for yourself. You are old enough to track down your own information nowadays. You're walking with the information super thing in your hand every day, you guys. But who told you that? Who told you you're supposed to do it like this? I'm sure you're wrong. How does your body feel? There's a right way to do it out there, and I'm not even saying I have it. I don't even go broadcasting my diet. If someone asks me, I'll throw it out there. On the scale of it, I get compliments on my skin tone. I think that comes from, putting quality stuff in my body. On most days, I feel really healthy. I'm not catching colds. Those of you, I used to be there. Those of you waking up every other week with the sore throat and the sniffles. Nah. But, and stop hating. Because it's always people hating. They always talking about all these, the vegans and the vegetarians, they the ones preaching. No, they are not saying anything. It's y'all. It's the meat people like, oh, look at you eating that lettuce. Is that good? Ha, ha, ha. It's never funny. It's never funny because you're not funny. You're just not a funny person. So when you all said, look at you with your bread, ha, ha, ha. It's not even humorous, so do your own research, y'all. That is the subject of today. Do your own research. And listen, people, I'm a fan, man. I'm a fan of everybody who has feelings. I got to dig deep. Unfortunately, I do, man. When I really want to feel some stuff, I got to go real deep in the bag, purposely think of something sad, really try to channel it through my soul, And what was I trying to think about, man? I was trying to think about some sad stuff as a kid. No, what was I watching, man? I remember when I was like, what year was this? This had to be ninth grade. Ninth grade, high school, Baltimore. My mom, man, you know how moms are. They gonna do what it takes to keep the family popping, to keep us rolling. Well, she got a subscription to some meat company. So she had them delivering these frozen steaks or something like once a month. And me and my brother was coming home not knowing how to cook a steak. So we was throwing that bitch right on the stovetop, frozen, just burning one side, flipping it over, burning another side. Thing is mad red in the middle. And we just was like, man, this is not right. And then you try to throw it in the microwave for a little. That didn't work. Then you try to throw it in some water. Maybe if I boil it, it'll even out in the center, man. And we was just putting trash in our bodies. It's not even that it was trash like it was supposed to be trash. It was trash because we had no inkling to, maybe read the directions, and maybe do some research, maybe even the patience to put it in the oven. But it just made me sad, man. I was like, yes, I like that. I'm sorry I'm upset a lot of people with this, but I liked when I had that, man, because I had an emotion and I had a feeling. And yeah, man, she went all out so we could, we didn't waste them either. We didn't throw none of them away. We ate them. We just didn't know how to prepare them. And I was looking out for my brother, man. I think he gave up on my style of trying to make it and just went ahead and was like, I'm going to just do mine myself. You do yours. Because I remember I had this girl come over, man. I think her name was Siobhan. And I was like, hey, I tried big time. And I was like, hey, I'm putting on a couple steaks for us. She was like, oh, really? And I knew my mom came home at about 5:30 because she was off work at like 5. And we got out of school like 2:45. So by the time we get to the house, it's like 3:15, I couldn't do nothing crazy in the house because my brother was there and there's only 2 bedrooms. And I'm like, so I'm like, yeah, I'll make a little, throwing some steaks. And, they came out the way I make them. And that was an early lesson, man. It was just an early lesson of like, good intention is great, but you still got to have the skills, man. You got to have the skill set if you're trying to pull off this positive intention. If you do not know how to prepare stuff, it's not like it was back then, man. I didn't have the information. I didn't know how to, figure that out. I should have asked my mom questions. I should have asked any adult questions. But cooking frozen steaks on a stovetop just wasn't the move. Now, we have it all. And those of you, listen, there's a lot of people who are struggling. You're struggling in love. You're struggling in relationships. You guys are just not winning in love. All right? This is what I want you to know. Stop listening to us. Stop listening to any podcast. Why are you listening to somebody on what you should do? Anything you've ever heard from somebody who's talking to the camera telling you how you should live your life romantically, they just want views. That's it. None of that's real. None of it. None of it's true. Now, if you was to hit me up on some personal stuff, I'm going to probably guide you the right direction. But don't listen to none of this trash. Why are y'all out here listening to Paul Pierce? Why are you listening to that fool talk about how you should be in a relationship? I'm a fan. Hey, I'm a fan of you as a hooper. And that's where I draw the line. Some people, listen, we all don't need a microphone. Everybody don't need to be saying stuff so specific to big numbers of people, but that's our day and age, man. That's where it's at. It's our day and age where you see some stuff, you hear it on the radio, you can be entertained by it. I'm not stopping that. Definitely be entertained. But to take that advice into your personal life, nah, not the move. Not the move. Los Angeles, specifically, stop trying to get together romantically with anybody. You can't trust nobody here. This is not the place to find love in a relationship. If you came here with somebody, you got a better chance. But to just try to meet somebody when you here, you got a 2.5-year window. That's how long it's gonna last. Unless, is there an unless? Unless you have two that have the ultimate, you gotta have masters of patience. You just gotta be two people with the most patience. Because if one of you have it, one of you don't, it's a wrap. I give you 2.5 years. I'm one of those people. I have too much patience. I'm not even proud of it. I let too much go. I stopped caring, and I would be with anyone forever. Just cause. Like, it'll figure itself out. I got my own thing going on. I like to read. I like to go on tour. So that's the only way it can last, man. Those of you in other states, other cities, it's tricky out there. It's tricky, man. Stuff is evolving so much, Back in the 1900s, those people, they used to last for a long time. They started their relationships back then, and they last for years. I don't know who's lasting for years now. So when I go to my shows and someone says, they've been married for 15 years, respect. I respect it. I'm like, hey, good. You guys on a really good jump. Let's get into some more stuff, man. News is staying hot. I wish I had a very strong take on this, right? But man, is there not a lot of similarities? Like, there's a lot of people that want to connect like OJ and Diddy, right? Just of how big the trial is. So I understand that, it was a big deal when that happened. People remember where they were when they were watching that trial, and I can get that. Diddy is, it's a big deal. There's a big trial, but I feel like a closer comparison to how big a case is probably Diddy and Cosby. When you think about it, like people coming back for Cosby, people coming back for Diddy, but there was people that was enjoying it at the time. There was people that was kicking it. They was popping pills. They was dancing to whatever was popping in the late 70s. And, Cosby was like Casanova. He probably had a back pocket full of pills. He's probably throwing them in the air. Everybody had their mouths open, was catching them. They was like, oh! They was probably drinking whatever they was drinking. What was that, Ripple or something back then? And they was just living it up. And then you know how when it starts coming down, you start coming down. Maybe you get sleepy. Wherever you was chilling with Cosby, there was probably a lot of places to rest, lay down, snoozing on the couch, Some people ended up in some bedroom. And that was more of a, not that it isn't now, but it was a free sex period, and, making love on drugs. I'm sure that's the best. That's probably erotic. It's probably as good as it gets. And you was on them untested drugs back in the 70s, so they was partying. Probably forgot a lot. Memory blocked out. You can lose a lot of memory you keep doing those things. And then years later, they were like, nah, I don't like that stuff that happened. I feel like There's a lot of people that were enjoying their time at those Diddy parties. They was probably living it up. They was probably, you know what I think? You know how they got the slip and slide? I'm sure he's had baby oil slip and slides. I know at one of these parties they was racing and they had two baby oil slip and slides and they would just run and go whoosh. And then you would just probably slide right into one of them rooms. Next thing you don't know who gonna pop in. That had to be exhilarating. You was probably in the room kicking it with somebody, something nasty about to pop off. Then another celebrity pop in from the show Step by Step, and you're like, what? I know it, man. And everybody had something to lose. So he probably didn't even have NDAs. He probably had those for whoever else, but they was just in there and they was slipping and dancing and they was dancing. Diddy's a dancer. But then years later, it's like, nah, that wasn't right. Those days are wrong. Man, this is what I think. Anybody who is an abuser, a physical abuser, all right, there's some abuse I'm going to tolerate. But beating a woman, no, wrong. Beating a very soft man, wrong. You just shouldn't physically beat people. But I don't know, man. That's just stuff I don't tolerate. I don't have to have a daughter to know that, that's just out of pocket. And it's just every once in a while, man, it all comes back. You got to deal with it. And for that, you got to pay something, man. You don't just get to beat people and get away with it. Now, I know those of you listening, there's a lot of people listening. You beat somebody up about 21 years ago. You beat somebody, you were beaten by someone who probably didn't have to pay for it. Are there different rules? Maybe there are different rules for celebrities, but there's even male victims out there. There's male victims who have been beaten by women. They are out there as well. Where do we draw these lines? Where do we cross these lines when you're like, you know what, I'm going back. You should serve time for what you did in 2007. I don't know, man. These laws are wild. I guess that's why everybody's moving to Texas. Who knows? Oh, man. Someone wrote into the show. This is a great story. Let's see. Look at this. I'm saying that haven't read it yet. All right. I have a son who I am the primary parent of. Okay? I am, for all intents and purposes, a single mom. Who isn't a single mom? Listen, I get the move here. I get it. That sentence. See, I'm a psychology major. I don't really tell people about that. I keep it on the low. But that right there was a take. That was an approach for sympathy early in the letter to just get you on this person's side. Okay, let's continue. I handle everything. You know how it is when you go work somewhere and everybody think they do the most work or they got the most important job? That's how I was at the grocery store. All them years, like I'm the only one here working. No, you ain't. No, you not. I saw you in the back smoking. It wasn't even your break. All right. His dad is the fun, convenient weekend parent. Okay. So he has them for the weekends? All right. You are the primary parent. Sounds like right here, dad has them for the weekend. And I get it. The parent that has them for the week, yeah, you probably do. Chances are you have way more responsibility. You don't have to drop them off at school. You only got them for the weekend. You don't You probably take them clothes shopping, make sure your time with them is quality time. But, I get it. I get it. But I don't like that approach either. His dad is the fun, convenient weekend parent. You know how many kids don't have a weekend parent? Man, I wish I had a weekend parent. You don't think I wanted a weekend parent when I was a kid? Woo! You do fun stuff on the weekends. Go to the movies, meet some cousins you ain't never met, meet your dad's new girl, man. And she's good to you. When you meet your dad's new girl, man, they sweet. And you can't even go home and tell your mom about it because you don't even want your mom to get in her feelings about it. So you like, hey, how was it with your dads? Like, it was all right. We had pizza. All right. My son turns 10 this year, and it's a big milestone birthday for him. And I had plans to throw him a party. Is 10 really a milestone? Man, that's society. We can make big whatever we want to make big. Turning 10, that ain't no milestone. You in 3rd grade. That ain't no milestone because you get, 2 numbers in your age? We make everything way bigger than it is. This is another day is what it is. Now, granted, when it's my birthday, I like stuff. I don't know. I like that. So, I'll do the same thing, but I'm doing it for another reason. I got different intent. So it says, it's a big milestone birthday for him, and I had plans to throw him a party. My child's father wants to take him on a cruise for his entire birthday week. It's not feasible for me to go as well. Am I selfish for wanting to say no and spending his birthday with him? I don't even need to read the rest of this letter. Yes! Those feelings that are trickling inside of you to saying, are you selfish? Yes! You are being selfish. Let this kid have an experience that he may or may not ever get the chance to have again. How many kids had the opportunity to go on a cruise in the 3rd grade? He gonna come back to 4th grade and be the man. Be like, yo, I was on a Carnival cruise. I was in the kids area. They had a slip and slide. It was baby oil. Look, man, look. Seriously, get out your feelings. It's not about you. It's not about you. Let this kid have his experience. I get it. You don't want the dad to be getting all that praise, but that's ego. Ego, I don't know the Bible quote. If I had somebody with me to look it up, ego is evil. Take you out of this. What, because dad's going to look like a hero? You got to deal with the kid all week? I get it. It's not easy. It's not stuff you want to deal with. But it's not about you. It's about the kid, and it's about this memory he's going to have for the rest of your life. I'm going to read the rest of your letter. I'm sorry if I'm being hard, but that's what this is. We got to learn to be selfless. We got to take ourselves out of this a lot. It's not about us. Do your own thing. Why don't your kid going to be gone for a week. You know the joy that you can have in your life with a free kid-free week? Wild out. Go to Vegas. Get smashed. Come back. Have a story don't nobody know. Let's read the rest. I feel bad, but I'm annoyed because I do, all caps, everything alone and feel like I deserve to spend this special day with my kid. But it's also not about me. Okay, if it's not about you, don't let it be about you. You have the answer. It's like your soul is speaking to you, but you're refusing to listen. And listen, I'm a victim of that as well. Sometimes I know what I'm supposed to do. I choose not to because I'd rather be on the side of thrill. Sometimes I don't listen, but I know I'm not listening. I'm purposely like, hey, I'm going to go over here because this is fun. But for the most part, I stay on track. What I look at it like is there's a light, right? And God is shining this light, and it's this path. And everything, you know the direction because you're talking and the path is there. And it's all these distractions. And you can step outside of it and it'll probably slow you from being back on your path. However, every once in a while, man, that stuff, when you look to the side, it looks fun because it is. But there's still fun on this light path. You just got to keep going because on that light path, that bright path is going that direction. That's exciting too. You just gotta have faith and go through it. Bottom line, you already know the answer to why you wrote in. All right? What this really comes down to is selfishness, it's pride, and ego. You don't want dad getting all the props. Why don't you do something? If you want to do something for your kid, why don't you have a nice shirt waiting or a video game waiting when he gets back? Because he's going to be like, Ma, this was the best cruise ever. Oh my God, I want to go on a cruise again. And that's great. And then maybe under the bed or something, have a shirt or a video game or something. And guess what? You both get stuff. Side note, this is a funny corner to turn. I don't even believe in gifts. I mean, I do gifts, but I mean on the holidays. If you out there, this is a whole nother sidebar. If you out there going broke for Christmas or birthday or I don't know when you buy gifts, Thanksgiving, I don't care. Stop buying into all this society stuff and do your own thing. If you going, man, it's like when you got kids, man, they going out with these girls and they out here buying $25 bouquet of roses, but then they asking you for money? No, nah, forget that. You don't have to do all that. You don't have to do none of that. You could be sweet in other ways, but you talking about spending all this money? All that stuff is unnecessary. All right. What a way to close. This is great. You know, though, but sometimes, man, sometimes you got to end with something that's going to be memorable like that. Women, you too. You don't have to be out here spending money and stuff well, are you though? There's women out here that's paying for the date. I don't know. It's 2025. You know, stuff is so different. So I don't know. If you got it, it ain't tricking if you got it. Hey. All right, y'all. Listen. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for kicking it with me for StepFans and chill. That's what we do, man. We chill. We get some feelings and thoughts off our chest, man. And I got some fun stuff coming up, man. Stay on the calendar. Stay on the website. Stay on the email list. Check that down. Go to MikeWinfield.com if you're not on the email list. I was going to stop the email list, but this lady was like, hey, I found out about your show when I got the email. I was like, that works? And she was there, and it was packed. It was sold out. I think I spoke on this already. I was in Warren, Ohio. Beautiful people, beautiful place. All right, you guys, signing off. Holla at me.